Let me mention, before I turn it on, one of the people who I guess got us excited and made us decide that we wanted to spend a good part of today looking at recycling, came by to see me a few weeks ago, is Linda Bavaro, who has, I think, just a great story. Why don't you share with them? And I think your story about...
We'll be here for the next 3 hours.
No. Give us the short version, but I think your explanation of how you got into this is an example of how a free society can work by attracting people that come from angles you could not have planned.
Okay. My name is Linda Bavaro, and I reside in Norcross. I'm a home-based company, and approximately 4 years ago, I just wanted to help the environment by education and do something with a hands-on visual, because I myself, I don't like to read technical manuals. I get lost in it, and I wanted something fun. So I developed a little marketing scheme with car signs like Baby on Board, and I took it to the Girl Scouts, and they went crazy on the idea to implement a marketing program as a test trial in Georgia. My signs are made out of recycled HDPE, and why I chose plastic was, well, I sort of sat in the Norcross Public Library and self-taught myself in recycling. I was fascinated with it, and I figured out that plastic was going to give us more byproducts from recycling than anything else, and if we put our efforts in PET or HDPE, which were our strongest, types 1 or 2 as we see in recycling arrows, we can make those things continually. And it was like a needle in a haystack, but I found a bunch of research guys with a major petrochemical company. Long story short, after I received the Girl Scouts and the sign and kept researching, these guys were taking soda pop bottles, the Coca-Cola and the competitor, and crunching them down to liquid and recreating it into a fiber. And this fiber they were taking and utilizing it to make fabric. And I said to these guys, what are you guys going to do with this stuff? And they said, well, Linda, we don't know. We're engineers, not marketeers. And we went to Burlington, we went to Milliken. They don't want it. I said, you're going to the wrong place. You need to go to the end sources that have educational stories in-house, that are recycling, that are teaching, either through schools or through corporations. Before living in Atlanta, I lived in Orlando. And I knew a lot about different corporations down there that were implementing real stories and doing things for the environment, but not telling the general public. So long story short, I went on in, and all I had was a business card and a concept, because they weren't dead making it to a fabric. And I told an entertainment company, which I won't speak a name, and they said, wow, this stuff is great, so when can we get it, and here's where we're going, and gosh, this could be wonderful from an educational standpoint. And I said, right, and it's the only way I'll work with you is if you do it through education. You have to educate the people and bring awareness before you can create a stable growth from this. So about 2 months after that, I get a phone call back from California, and they wanted to roll with an already in process educational program and make this part of their giveaway program. So lo and behold, I had been manufacturing now T-shirts and other fabrics made from recycled PET bottles for the last 3 years. My company has grown from above my garage and working with from large entertainment houses and their competitors, and now the McDonald's Corporation. Next week I go to Spartanburg, where I am about ready to sign the contract agreement with the Milliken Company, since they are already implementing to some of my accounts so they can be supported the right way, because I am not a mill. I am just a person who believed that things can happen if everybody works together, from corporations to individuals and with government. And I was honored 2 years ago. I had my first trip to Washington, D.C., where I was asked to speak before the Committee on Science, Space, and Technology to help form the Green Technologies Bill and to share my experiences as trying to unveil a whole new aspect in marketing, and that's green technologies. And I know it can happen. It's a lot of work, it's not easy, and you have to believe, and there are some people that will spend more right now. But if we can get a lot more of these companies right now involved in implementing programs like myself, then the volume goes up and the price comes down. That was a little bit of economics I learned. And if we can get Washington behind us in legislation to help pass legislation, so we're not just mouthing the words we care and we're aware and we want things to change, but we're actually doing it and we're participating in it. You'll see a lot of changes. It's been proven in Germany and the Netherlands, and I think we can learn from those countries to make this work right. And that's really about it in a nutshell. I am not a chemist. I'm a mom of 2. And I had been in marketing before I went home to raise my girls, and they got to a certain age, and I wanted to do something on the side, and this is where I ended up today. And I know it can happen. I'm just one person, so if I'm one person and can get it this far, think of what all you guys can do out there as big as you are, if we all work together.